So on the location rack here, I actually got this color chart out, and I took some photos under uncorrected. So just set the camera to basic setting and took uncorrected photos, and that's what the sunlight looked like. So this is the location before we built the set there. You see the blue line there. This was still bare desert. And then what I did is I asked the colorist back in Budapest, where we were shooting the interiors, to color correct them back to neutral, and then I put the two up side by side on my computer like that. And then I got a swatch book. Now if you've got a swatch book, have a go, you can have a look. And I basically looked through the colors until I'd matched the one on the right back to the one on the left. And once I'd found that color, of course, I now knew what color I had put in my lighting for the sunset scene. And unfortunately, I never made a note of it. I'm sorry, we were in such a hurry at the time that my gaffer ran off and he basically ordered. So I can't tell you what the end result was. And maybe I shouldn't leave that up too long because you're going to tell me it was different. So this is how we lit it in the studio. So you see the color there. And I also used, again, some source forest there in the background to create some wispy clouds to give it a little bit of depth. And actually, in the grade, in the end, in London, we realized that I actually wasn't that far off, even though I was guessing the wrong way around. And we didn't have to do that much color correcting to match the two of shots. So this was rare because, of course, it's not often that you have to, outside and inside, you can pass through a door somewhere. But this was literally cut straight into the sequence that is still outside. So it was a bit more tricky to get it right. Now here, you can actually see the measurements I took on the actual sunset. So you can see at 5:15, the sun is still up. I got a very comfortable stop of 16 2/3. Now 40 minutes later, not a lot of time, and the little F on my light meter would take on a completely different meaning. And now you can run the next bit of video, please. This is a sequence which was the reverse, and again, this ties in with what the photographer was talking about. This was a sequence where it was dawn, but pre-dawn. And pre-dawn in the desert doesn't last any longer than sunset. So we had quite a major sequence to cover. So we actually shot it over 3 mornings and 1 evening, because we did one shot that was dawn for dusk. And every morning was different. So once we had clouds, once we had no clouds, and again, we're rushing from inside to outside, bang, back into the studio. There I actually just lit the backdrop. It was supposed to be green screen originally, but I thought I could get away with it. So I again used the trick of the reference photos to match one to the other. Now, I don't actually it's very tricky to shoot first thing in the morning because your crew arrives in the dark, they have to set in the dark, and the moment the light starts to bite, you have to shoot. And you have that very, very tight window before the sun actually comes up. So again, we actually lost a bit of time when something happened and somebody wasn't there. And the moment the sun, of course, comes above the horizon, you're lost, unless you've got a really overcast day, but we never really did.